Hello, I'm Mr. Eddie, President of America, and this is Should I Tune In? To start this episode, a brief history lesson. Before Nickelodeon released a series of popular cartoons called Nicktoons, they were actually known for showing two strange British animation shows, Count Duckula and Danger Mouse. Actually, on CBBC, where the shows originally ran, Danger Mouse came first, and Count Duckula played a guest role on that, and then eventually he got his own popular series. Danger Mouse was hugely popular in the UK, and it was pretty popular here in the States. However, it's not the classic show we're going to be taking a look at today, but instead its 2015 remake. And you know how remakes go. Is this one any good? Is this one of the bad ones? Well, let's take a look. Well, right from the intro, I can see that they've done a few things right. First off, look at that animation. It's beautiful. Unlike some other recent animated remakes that went the cheap sweatshop CGI path, what am I even looking at there? What even? I'm breaking out into a cold sweat. Danger Mouse is beautifully 2D animated. The characters look slick and recognizable, and the colors pop. The other thing this intro gets right is the theme song. Danger Mouse always had a really cool theme song, and this is just a slightly updated version of that theme song, and it's fantastic. Just listen to it for a moment.
He's the greatest, he's fantastic. Wherever there is danger, he'll be there.
Admit it, that theme song is catchy as hell. I mean, it's slightly boastful, but it fits the show and the character perfectly. Alright, for those uninitiated to the world of Danger Mouse, allow me to give you a brief rundown of the show. Danger Mouse is the world's greatest secret agent. Cool under pressure, quick-witted, slightly egotistical, yet still likable. Think of Darkwing Duck if he was a secret agent. And a mouse. He's partnered with a hamster named Penfold. Penfold is nervous, slightly cowardice, slightly reluctant to be his partner, but yet he'll still stick with Danger Mouse for thick and thin. So while there might be some action in this show, it's the series' zany, self-aware, wacky British humor that makes it fun to watch.
And now, the world's 12th greatest sidekick, Penfold, will speak the first beautifully constructed line of the new series.
I have to admit, I'm a sucker for a show that's self-aware and makes fun of that fact. In fact, the humor in this show may not necessarily make me laugh out loud, but it does strike all the right chords, and I'm amused the entire way through. It definitely has that wacky, zany tinge to it.
Colonel, when is the chief ever wrong? Besides the time he thought that fancy dress party was an alien invasion and blasted the 5-year-olds into space, screaming and crying for their mummies, never to return to...
Probably not the best time to bring that up, Penfold.
See, that's a great line. That's the kind of writing I've seen throughout the show, and it's solid. The show itself is so self-aware that, just like in the old series, the narrator is a character and actually interacts at times.
The bill to repair the city has bankrupted the Secret Service, and we've blown the series' budget on the special effects. We've even had to ask our narrator to do the incidental music.
Bam, bam, bam!
Not yet!
They use that to good comedic effect throughout the cartoon. See, here's the problem. The hardest part about reviewing a good comedy is, what exactly am I supposed to show you? I don't want to just make it a gag reel of all the best jokes, but this show doesn't really have very much depth to it, like a Steven Universe or an Adventure Time. It's basically just a straight-up comedy. There's no dark parts, there's no brooding parts. It's just humor for humor's sake. And there's nothing wrong with that. But it does make it kind of tricky to review. One of the strong points about Danger Mouse is that the characters are quite endearing. I already talked about the main characters, Danger Mouse and Penfold, but the supporting cast are just as likable. For instance, you have Colonel K, the bumbling head of the Secret Service.
Colonel, we thought you'd been Colonel napped.
And I haven't? Must have swapped places with my hologram at the last second. You have to get up pretty early in the afternoon to catch me.
Then you have the series' longtime running main villain, Baron Greenback, a frog bent on world domination.
Let battle commence! For more wahahas, visit my website barongreenback32@eve.il.
Well, I don't know about you, but I would totally go to his website and download all the wahahas I could. But that's just me. I'm wacky like that. So the last character talked about is probably the one that's the most odd. You see, while most of the characters in this reboot are fairly closely represented to the way they were in the original, well, here's Professor Squawk and Cluck in the original series.
Oh, look, never mind, Professor. Just carry on.
So, then, to begin with, the problem is the title.
The title?
Here, I vote we change it to The Perils of Penfold. 999.
27.
And here's Professor Squawk and Cluck in the new series.
Professor, has the thingy arrived?
I'm unpacking it as we speak.
It's that blasted chase sequence. It costs so much we're having to share sets. Turn it on! Turn it on!
Security scan first. Activate eye patch.
An eye patch? Can I... Ow.
Agents only. I've located the manual.
Boy, that's like they're looking into a mirror at each other. Seriously, how many changes can you identify? A male to a female, from what I think was a monkey to a chicken, and from German to Scottish. You know, it's not even that I'm complaining. The new professor is quite entertaining and fits the show style really well. And hell, the name Squawk Cluck definitely refers more to a chicken than a monkey, but when you go through the trouble of trying to capture the original characters so well, even down to their voices sounding alike, it's just surprising to see such a drastic change with just one character. Hell, with that kind of logic, could you imagine what the 2025 reboot of my show would look like? This is what one of my supporting characters, Edlock Holmes, would look like in the future. You know, I hate to make such an obvious joke, but hey, take it, Animaniacs.
Look, the guy's a chicken, I tell ya. A giant chicken. Hiya!
Yeah, I know, that was the easy joke, but I just couldn't resist. So, one last note to talk about Danger Mouse, and that compares to the different styles of humors between the old show and the new show. See, one place where this Danger Mouse lacks is the conversational humor of the original show. You see, the 1980s Danger Mouse animation was, well, awful, terrible. So, in order to make up for that, the writers would often script witty back-and-forth banter between the characters to help save on the animation. This was okay because the banter was really good and really funny, almost Abbott and Costello or Monty Python-esque.
Phew! Done it! Caw!
I don't know why you don't look in the owner's manual.
Chief, it's me.
I know it's you, Penfold.
Then why are you calling me Manuel? Are we travelling incognito? Because if so, I'd rather travel in a Rolls Royce.
Penfold, never mind the silly jokes.
I don't mind the silly jokes, it's them I'm worried about.
I said owner's manual.
You said never mind the silly jokes.
Before that, I said, why don't you look in the owner's manual for the proper controls, Penfold, for the oxygen regeneration system?
Oh, well, why didn't you say so before? Oh, crumbs.
Now, while the writing and gags in the new Danger Mouse is good, there's really no calm back-and-forth humor. Instead, the humor hits a lot faster, harder, and much less subtle. Personally, I don't mind since it's just two different styles of telling a joke, but I can see how fans of the original show might be a little let down. So, as always, the ultimate question is, should I tune in? Well, if wacky humor is your thing, and I'm gonna guess it is since you're listening to the President of America talk about cartoons, then Danger Mouse is a show worth checking out. While it doesn't quite pack the same emotional punch of some of the more popular new animated programming like Gravity Falls, Adventure Time, Steven Universe, or Legend of Korra, Danger Mouse does manage to keep a smile on your face with a few genuine laughs or at least chuckles along the way. It's not a show that reviewers online could dissect weekly looking at secrets and meanings and clues, but it is a remake that shows its source material the respect it deserves and keeps its audience, young and old, entertained the whole way through. Well, that concludes this episode. Allow me to remind you that if you enjoyed this, you should like, comment, and subscribe, and please be sure to share this video with anyone that doesn't want Greenback to take over the world. One click of the share button could save us all from being under that villain's green thumb. It's up to you. Until next time, I'm Mr. Eddie, President of America, and wait, hey! It's November! Fans of mine from SuperFriendsUniverse.com should know what that means. It means that next week on the Laid Back Gourmet, I'm going to be getting into the spirits of the season. See you then.